Welcome back to another episode of Guess the MMR, and this one is going to be a little bit special because today I'm going to be using all of your replays. You guys submitted them in the YouTube community section, and I greatly appreciate that. And if your name doesn't get picked in this one, feel free to submit it next week. I plan to do this once again next week if it has a good response once again. So hit the like if you want to see this again next week, and keep your eyes out for that post. Alright, let's get straight into the first clip. So we're going to be looking at Nemi. Thank you for submitting your replay. Appreciate it. And he's playing Slark. This is going to be a team fight apparently. First things first. Okay, so, I like that he's checking the fight to kind of see what's going on. I think a lot of players make the mistake of TPing without actually knowing what's happening, so big fan of this. Let's see what he does first. So he actually goes for the Wind Ranger, which I don't like, right? I think your priority is already a bit off. Why go for a hero that has 100% evasion as Slark? Just doesn't make a particularly large amount of sense way too early on the BKB. If your targeting is better here, you would have already been on top of the Shadow Demon, so a bit of a mistake. This is burning your entire BKB duration, and now the fight's... Oh boy, okay. Alright, not the best play there, but we're going to move on to the next fight. Alright, fight number 2 is TPing in. I think it's good that you're TPing somewhat aggressively here. Once again, let's see what your target priority is, because target priority for Slark is a big deal. Once again, your BKB usage is just way too early. The thing about Slark, I just have to pause here, is you have basically two built-in sort of BKBs with your Dark Pact and your ultimate. They're basically BKBs, or, a defensive capability. So you don't want to pop them all at the same time, or especially Dark Pact and BKB at the same time. Especially when you know that, this Pangolier isn't going to solo kill you from full HP, and the Alk and the Wind Ranger have already committed their spells, right? You will know if the Alk's going to stun you, and the Wind Ranger had already casted her spells, so you using BKB is completely griefing your ability to take these fights and for a long time, right? Because Slark needs to stay in the fight for a long time. Plus, I think your item build is very outdated. I'm not going to lie. Every Slark nowadays is going more so like a phase boots drums build. It allows you to kite in and out of the fight much better. And as you can see by what I'm saying is the goal of Slark is to kite in and out. So I'm going to have to guess this is much more on the lower end. If I had to guess in particular, I'm going to have to say this is either Crusader or Archon. My final guess is Archon 2. Oh, okay. Yikes. Sorry, bro. Apparently this is actually Legend 7. I did not mean to insult you, so don't take that hard. I just think you really need to update your item builds a bit. At least watch your pro replay, and maybe play a lot more games of Slark to begin to understand, who do you actually need to target in fights. Because if you don't target the right hero as Slark, you're going to struggle as the hero. So in this replay, we're going to be looking at Sour Sweet on the Spirit Breaker. He's 8-0 currently, so looking good. And one thing I wanted to say quickly that I forgot to mention earlier is that I won't be looking at anyone else's play or item builds besides who the specific replay is for, just to make my life a little bit harder. But let's get into this fight. So first off, he's going to charge this Ogre. It's a bit aggressive. I also think his Bulldoze a bit early. I think it was slightly unnecessary, but not bad. Kiting out. I really like that you're kiting out in these fights. I think a lot of players on a hero like Spirit Breaker just get over anxious and sort of just run into the fights even when they shouldn't. And hopefully this maybe even will keep you alive and allow you to reinitiate, and it will. Yeah, and I really like that. So well played on your part. Big fan of that maneuver. Okay. I think you maybe could have ultied earlier just to secure one of the kills, but I mean, in general, I really like you kiting in and out there. I think that was very smart. All right, we're going to be looking at one more clip. He instantly charges. I think that charge was okay. I would have been probably more inclined to charge a hero like the Earthshaker because he's a key initiator for them. Alright, not overcommitting. I like that you're playing hesitant when your team isn't in position. I think that's smart heads-up play, which is usually a sign of a better player. Okay. Good movement. Once again, I think your movement definitely is quite solid. Pretty solid. I think this play is really good. I'm really tempted to look at the other players' items because I'm struggling a bit. I want to say that you're much higher up. But why is Meepo going in there? Like, just to play like that... God, I'm not... Regardless, I'm not a huge fan of this heart. I think it's kind of meh. I would prefer to see some more utility or even something like a BKB, personally. But I'm going to guess you're Divine 6. That's my go. What? No. Dude, no way. No. Okay, apparently this is Archon 4. This is not Archon 4. Divine 6 was definitely, like, oh, alright. This is not Archon 4, dude. You are totally smurfing. Back off. Alright, for the next clip, we're going to be looking at Masan Got on the PA. And The first clip we're going to be looking at is this sort of like mid-push, and I'm not going to lie, just right off the bat, I don't really love the fact that you're even bothering to siege this mid-tower. Like, is it okay to take towers as the safe lane player? Sure, but a hero like PA really needs to get to her timings, right? As is, I can see that your score is bad, and I respect you for still sending in this replay even with that, but right there, like, even you spending the time to siege that mid-tower doesn't give me the best vibes. It wastes a lot of time. Your goal has to be to get to your Deso BKB timing so you can jump in and shred them. And now we're going to be looking at one more engagement. I'm going to quickly look at your talents. They look pretty good, so no complaints there. This is a pretty dangerous jump. Oh, you have to be very careful here because you have no vision. You didn't really consider that this guy might still have ulti, and this could just straight up get you killed. Looks like it does. You just need to be a lot more selective. So the big idea here, just for everyone watching, is when you're playing a hero like PA or a Slark or Storm, you need to be selective in your jumps and typically even wait for fights to sort of break apart. Like, the later they go on, or the more patient you are, the better target you can typically choose. So don't be that hasty, even if you see a Slark that's half HP, because in that situation, he had his ultimate. So my official guess, I'm going to have to guess on the lower side. I think your build's fine. It's not the end of the world. You're just focusing way too much on fighting, and it's getting you killed. You just got to hit more camps, bro. Really, it's going to be as simple as that. And you just bought a Fairy Fire. But I'm going to have to guess that you're Guardian 7. Guardian 5. Okay. Yeah, I think I get those 5. So just keep farming, bro. Like, if you really want the formula for you to go up in MMR in particular, just hit creeps till you get your BKB. Don't even show up to a single engagement. A lot of people are like, Speed, don't tell people to AFK farm. No, just literally just AFK farm. It will separate you from everyone else in your bracket and probably win you these games. I like your all chatting, though. Alright, for the next clip, we're going to be following Simos on the Doom, who Dota is telling us has gotten a triple kill, which is a good thing. First things first, as a quick side note for Doom, this build has been out of meta for quite a bit, and Scorched Earth is just a better build, frankly. So already then, I feel like maybe you haven't watched enough of the pro scene or any pro replays, because you really want to max Scorched Earth. It allows you to farm, and Inferno Blade is very unreliable damage. Also, it's not AoE. This spell is insane. It's actually, like, absurdly broken, especially if you take the damage at level 10. It does unbelievable amounts of damage. Alright, and we're going to be looking at one major fight now. Let's kind of see how he approaches it, because Doom is a hero that, you definitely want to catch people off guard if you're going this Blink build. So, I like that you didn't necessarily force the engagement right away before your team was in position. I think that's smart, right? Your Invoker's not necessarily here yet. Oh, you almost... Did you show there? I don't know. It kind of felt like you showed, but... Alright, the enemy team is making a big mistake. Even just from this clip, it makes me feel like this can't be too high, because why would Void even be bothering to show bottom here to Mysa Creep? That's just like him asking to die. I like that you're trying to approach from the side trees, though. I think that's generally smart, right? I mean, okay, I just have to go back and watch that again. This was a bit odd. If you're going to initiate for a fight, it has to be, in the attempt to either A, surprise them, or, B, tank spells. But in this case, it seems like you want to surprise him, but then you use Devour casually, and then Stomp, and aren't paying attention to the fact that your Spirit Breaker is initiating, and just completely waste your Blink Stomp. Not only that, you're just an easy chrono target if he has it, which he does, right? So I think that was a bit sloppy. It doesn't really make too much sense to me why you would show for that long, or show at those times. Like if you're looking to catch this Void, which probably should be your target at this point of the game, especially pre-chrono, then it just doesn't make any sense for you to walk around in vision like that. I mean, good Stomp usage. I think your item build is fine. Skill build a bit outdated, as we talked about. So in general, I would have to guess this is like mid to upper tier, because I think your spellcasting is generally correct, but your positioning and ideas of the fight seems a little bit scrambled, kind of all over the place in my opinion. So I'm gonna have to guess somewhere around low ancient. I'm gonna guess like ancient 3, ancient 1. Okay, basically 2 in a row now, guys. I mean, I'm picking it up from the pretty atrocious start. We're picking it up. All right, for this next clip, we're gonna be looking at Papa, a master tier invoker. So this is gonna be pretty good, right? Master tier, you're no joke. You're one of those guys. So let's get into it. First off, good Sunstrike. Just being heads up. First off, like I love the camera movement. I'm just paying attention to kind of what's going on. Okay, might have been good if you could have gotten a cold snap on the Quap. All right, that feels like a wasted meteor to me. I don't want to call you out. I know you're the master invoker, but maybe slightly unnecessary. Okay, good. You definitely know what you're doing with your spells, and I think your movement throughout the fight is clean, right? Like, just in general, it really seems like you're paying attention to what's going on, which I think is great. Your camera movement's solid, and your ability to kind of focus on the from target to target is great. And once again, switching off the tech keys to the jug, just very heads up, so I like that. Good, really good tornado. Very clean, so good clean fight, and let's move on to the next one. Alright, looks like his team is now going to be going for Roshan. Bit dangerous, you know, not too much vision of the enemy team. Oh, it looks like the enemy team actually scans you out as well. So this is going to be sketch. Big Echo Slam coming in? No, they actually get vision of him, so, okay. Weird Fisher. Why would he commit Fisher for a Witch Doctor? Regardless. Okay, you guys are committing hard. Ooh, okay, you get pushed out of the pit. Lucky you, honestly, that you got pushed out. Nice Cold Snap. Very quick Meteor. That's clean. Okay, I really like that you Deafening Blast to multiple heroes. Even though it doesn't matter if those heroes auto-attack more, I think it's just very heads up. And I think that's important just for playing a lot of heroes, especially heroes with AoE. This is getting a bit dangerous, right? Because, like, right here, if I slow it down, I'm just thinking through my head, like, this Quap just bought back. She's gonna jump, right? She's gonna jump, and you're the first one in the front line. I think you, as an Evoker, almost never want to be the guy in front unless you're an extreme advantage. Oh, do you get out? No, okay. Yeah, and I think that was you getting a little overzealous. In general, I think your movement around the fight has been good, right? Repositioning and such, and generally good positioning, but there you got a bit anxious, right? It was kind of like the Quap buys back, you don't really respect it, and it really hurts you in the long run, so not bad in general. I would guess this is like, I'm going to say, this is tough for me, because like, you being 25 Invoker makes me want to guess like, I'm going to say Ancient. No, I don't want to say Ancient. Ancient 7 or Divine 1? Can I guess 2? Alright, which... Unranked Immortal. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Papa. No, your camera movement was definitely that of an Immortal, which I'll give you. Like, in general, your ability to check fights and pay attention is good. I just think, like, I don't know, man. You're definitely good at your hero. It just, for me, like, this 180 last hits feels low. Right, like, maybe that's the reason why you're maybe getting stuck a bit, right? 181 last hits at 30 minutes is probably you trying to fight too much to some extent. Maybe that's how the pace of the game was going, but I don't know. Definitely a late BKB timing, which kind of threw me off as well, but keep up the good work. Spam some more Invoker. All right, in this next clip, we're going to be following the basics. I'm assuming that's what the 1 and the 3 is supposed to be. Get it? But you're on the Dark Willow. Let's see how you approach this big team fight. Dark Willow's a hero with a lot of options. Okay. Your Terrorize is a bit to the right? Actually, okay, it just clipped the Kunkka, which is good. You sort of waste Bramble. My big thing with Willow that I think a lot of players make the mistake of is not actually using your Yules to set up a Cursed Crown, or, you know, I have to go back a bit, but in general, this seems kind of jumbled to me. I'm cool with this Terrorize, but, like, were these the best targets? I don't know. I don't really think so. You kind of waste the Bramble. Like, OD walks into it, I guess. But then this Shadow Realm is way too early. You're not using it for DPS at this point in the fights. You're using it to, like, get your Bedlam off. And, you know, it's great that you're level 17 and way above everyone else due to, you know, the fact that you have 10 kills. Okay, now you kind of waste Yules. You could have just kept chasing the OD. I really feel like you're not optimizing your spells. That's what I see here. It's just like, I mean, this Cursed Crown's good, but in the fights, like, you didn't use Yules aggressively to solo kill the OD, which you basically could have. Your Terrorize was okay. I don't feel like Kunkka and Enchantress are probably the best targets, but not the end of the world. Good Bramble base, though, so respect there, and we're going to move on to one more fight. Alright, apparently we have one more fight coming up right here. Let's break it down. Once again, I mean, that's a low cooldown for sure with the level 20 talent, so okay, it's fine to use it casually, only because of that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have liked that usage. I have a big problem with it. Okay, first things first, I don't like this item build. Right, you can clearly tell it feels near impossible. Like, even here, I can kind of tell you want to go in, but you don't want to overcommit and kill yourself, which is good, right? You don't, like, that makes sense. You're staying back, which is great. I think that's the first thing I like here. You're not necessarily overcommitting with your teammates. Good, but this item build is just, if you go Blink and a Hex, you can solo kill anyone. Do you understand the value in that? And Axe, it can be unreliable and sometimes just hard to use because you want to get on top of people in fights, which the Axe is okay for. I just really prefer the idea of having a Blink and a Hex at some point in the game rather than a Moonshard and an Axe. Okay, kind of taking, like, quick note just for everyone. I like when people just get their spells out and get them off cooldown, right? A big thing I think a lot of players make the mistake of is they don't just use their spells. Just sometimes you can't always look for this perfect usage, and that's why in the first fight, it might not have been the perfect usage, but at least you got them out. Here, I understand why you back up. That's cool. Maybe you could have even Shadow Realm to potentially get your Cursed Crown out. Bit of a wasted Bramble. It doesn't feel like you actually threw it at the people who weren't BKB'd. And here, it definitely looks like a really good scenario for a potential Terrorize to potentially help your Ursa out. He did have Aegis, so not the end of the world, and a decent Disengage Fear. So overall, I think it's good that you're not overcommitting. Like, I genuinely think it's good that you're not overcommitting. But at the same time, you have this Axe and this Hyperstone, and you didn't use them in the fight. You spent 6k gold and didn't use it, right? That is where I kind of begin to like, is this build really that good if I'm not using it? So I think in general, your spellcasting is solid. Oh, you need Shadow Realm. Okay. I think it's solid, but it needs a lot more work to kind of clean up and really have the highest impact possible. So I'm gonna have to guess Legend 5. Ancient 5. Okay, honestly, I should have guessed higher.